Hello everyone, I invite you to every Wednesday cryptocurrency review. Let's start by checking the current situation on the BTC pair to USDT, taking into account the one-day interval. First of all, using the yellow line, it is worth marking the downtrend that the price has overcome, and we are currently moving in the uptrend channel marked with blue lines. Now we can move on to marking the places of support in the event of a correction. And here we see that we have the first support at $27,017. When the price goes lower, the second support is at $24,821. Then the third support is at $23,030. And below we have the fourth very strong support at $21,181. Looking the other way, in a similar way using the FIB retracement tool, we can determine the places of resistance. First, we will mark the resistance zone where the price is currently from $28,000 to $31,754. When it manages to break it, the price may encounter resistance at $35,625, then resistance at $41,172, and a fourth resistance at $48,221. It is worth paying attention to the EMA cross 50 and 200, as we can see when the yellow line of the EMA cross 50 crossed the blue lines of the EMA cross 200 from below. This confirmed the entry into an uptrend after a very long decline. Please pay attention to the CHOP index, which indicates that we still have the energy to continue the move. The MACD indicator indicates a return to the uptrend. While the RSI has touched the upper limit of the range, which may affect the price going sideways or give a small rebound. As the second chart in today's review, we'll be looking at BNB versus USDT, also on a single-day time frame. First of all, using the blue lines, we can mark the sideways trend channel in which we are approaching the upper limit. While locally we managed to beat the downtrend lines. Now let's move on to marking the places of support. We will use the FIB retracement tool to mark the supports, and as you can see we have the first support at $317.1, the second support at $298.50, the third support at $283.50, and then the fourth support at the lower border of the sideways channel at $268.40. Looking the other way, we can also mark the places where the price should encounter resistance on the way to increases. And here we have the first very strong resistance at $330, which is the so-called golden point of 0.618 fib. The next resistance is at $359.90. And then the third resistance at $398.30. The CHOP index indicates that most of the energy has been used. The MACD indicator is back in an uptrend. On the other hand, on the RSI, we are moving in the upper part of the range with a small rebound visible. As the third one, we will check the SOL chart on a 4-hour interval. As we can see, the price has broken the downtrend line marked with the yellow line. Let's start by marking the support spots for the price, and we see that we first have support at $22.53. Then we have a strong support zone from $21.28 to $20.26. But if the price goes lower, we have another support at $19.27. Looking the other way, we can similarly determine the places of resistance that the price has to face. And here we see that we currently have a strong resistance at $24.75. When we manage to overcome it, we have another resistance at $27.13. Only an upward exit will open the way to further increases. The CHOP index indicates that the energy has been used heavily. The MACD indicates an uptrend is maintained. While the RSI has crossed the upper limit of the range and, despite a slight rebound, we can expect a larger correction. The last one in today's chart is the LTC versus USDT chart, also on a 4-hour time frame. First of all, we will use the blue lines to mark the uptrend channel in which the price is moving in the lower border. Moving on, we can move on to marking support areas when the correction begins to deepen. And here, the first support is at $89.60, the second support is at $84.76, the third support is at $81.05, and then the fourth support is at $77.20. Looking the other way, we see that the price has hit an important and strong resistance at 0.786 FIB at $97.03, from which it rebounded. But when it manages to break it, another strong resistance will appear at $105.85. Please look at the CHOP index, which indicates that the energy is gathering strength. The MACD indicates a local downtrend, while the RSI has a strong rebound, which may positively affect creating room for new growth. Technical analysis is provided by a third party and for informational purposes only. It does not reflect the views of CryptoDaily, nor is it intended to be used as legal, tax, investment, or financial advice.